I'm not sure how many people know this, but the American military has a program called the Military Accessions Vital to the National Interest Program, or called Mavni for short. The program basically recruits soldiers of different nationalities who are legal aliens from within the United States. Those who become soldiers in the American Army are then given status as an American citizen. Now, we covered a story about the Mavni program last year when 60 Chinese was recruited. And now, according to ChinaNews.com, a Chinese internet news site, the American military is looking to enlist 30 more bilingual Chinese soldiers. Now, news stories of immigration or a quick way to become an American citizen are always popular on the internet, and to become a soldier for the American Army is probably as controversial as it gets. So now let's take a look at some Weibo comments.
Although China and America are partners in business and economics, I still believe that in the future the two countries would be each other's biggest rivals. When that day comes, it will be very hard for these soldiers to pick sides. Is America taking advantage of the cheap labor of developing countries, or are they using this tactic as a way to decrease the fighting ability of their rivals? I bet they have very high standards. I don't know if you've seen Chinese soldiers nowadays, but they are not at all like the soldiers of the previous generation. Chinese soldiers today resemble security guards and hooligans. America is sucking away all the talent in China to one day use them against us. It's terrible to be a soldier in America. The American government loves to fight wars, so these Chinese soldiers might become cannon fodder one day in Iraq or Afghanistan. On the other hand, Chinese soldiers have it the best since China hasn't fought any wars in decades. The Chinese military also gives a lot of perks. Discipline is at an all-time low. You eat special military tribute foods that are better than the ones available on the market, and there's plenty of liquor. It's not that hard to become an American citizen. However, if you give up your Chinese citizenship and one day want it back, well, that is harder than climbing a ladder to heaven.
Now, to some Weibo users, it seems recruiting foreign soldiers is a very bold move. But for many Chinese people, it also poses a moral dilemma. Now, hypothetically, should the U.S. go to war with China, who would they fight for? Now, I'm sure each person would have to make their own struggles, but it's not hard to imagine that a lot of Chinese in China will label them as traitors to the country, or worse, traitors to their own people. However, you will be surprised at how many Chinese would line up to fight alongside the Americans. Back in 2011, a Chinese national was arrested and charged for operating a U.S. Army recruitment scam where he convinced over 100 Chinese people living in California to enlist with the promise of U.S. citizenship. The Chinese man was named Yu Ping Deng, or David Deng, and gave himself the title of the Supreme Commander, which should have rung a few warning bells. The 51-year-old Deng collected fees ranging from $300 to $400, with yearly renewals at $120. In exchange, he provided the recruits with phony U.S. Army uniforms, fake documents, and military ID cards, which doesn't seem like that greedy of a scam. All right, now let's take a look at a few more Weibo comments.
The choice is theirs, but I must say it really shows how strong America is that they are able to accept soldiers of other nationalities. In China, foreigners aside, the government doesn't even trust its own people. What a silly thing to do. These soldiers are finished. If the U.S. gets into a war with China, the American government will not trust them, and the Chinese will think they are traitors. They have boxed themselves in, and there's no way out. Of course people would see them as traitors, but on the other hand, why are Chinese people so keen on leaving the country? Why are young Chinese men willing to die for America to be given the opportunity to become an American citizen? Our government really needs to think about this.